and I'm excited because we have some good information to share today and some new news about purchasing and the ability to purchase our block bots with Win. And I believe, Jake, we have a very incredible guest on today, an OG, Jake Dieterich, with us today, who's going to talk about selling and buying and selling tokens, rewards, whatever you want to call them. Do you know, though, can we buy our block bots with both either and or either? Spit it out, Patty. Native Win, or do they have to be ERC20?
It's currently native Win.
Native Win. All right. Well, there we have it. So let's get started. I'll turn it over to you, and I'm just muting people, and I'll watch for the people coming on to make sure they stay muted.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Just because I know we start every call with, standard disclaimers, I'm going to run through those real fast, and then we'll get started. So you can, of course, always look at these in the support FAQ, but I just run through a summary real quick that this may contain forward-looking statements. We're always building a very futuristic version of like what we want to see in the world and how we want to see things interact. So sometimes we talk in very forward-looking statements. I won't make any earnings claims or financial advice. Like, this is truly for educational purposes. So with that, I expect you to DYOR, do your own research. Don't take things that I say at surface level. Take a little extra time, really deep dive and learn this for yourself. The digital rewards are used for utility. Patty just mentioned another form of utility opening up, which is really exciting, that we'll get into. And the nodes in blockchain are governed by the DGF, or the Distributed Governance Framework, which is all of us as node operators and owners. So we actually control all of this. All right. So I'll open up with what Patty just was talking about, was, accessing and being able to utilize our rewards for products and services. Like, that's ultimately why all of this is being built. That's why we all operate nodes, to build the blockchain, and so that it can be a transaction medium for the rest of the world to actually be able to purchase digital rewards from secondary markets, bring them back, and ultimately buy products and services utilizing our blockchain that we all built together. So I'm going to share that real quick. And this is just the standard shopping cart that we're all familiar with. And you'll see, if I add a block bot to my shopping cart, and you have payment methods over here, you got USDT, USDC, ETH, or Bankwire that we're all used to. But now there is the Win digital reward. This will be really exciting as, like, basically all products and services start to open up and start accepting that native digital reward. So if I select that, you can actually see I can utilize my Win and check out. I've actually tested this. I've purchased one. Really excited to be able to contribute back to the project using the project's native digital reward. And if you think about, even early blockchains such as Bitcoin, that the early Bitcoin miners actually restaked into the network. They doubled back down if they were going to utilize their Bitcoin that they earned and could continue contributing to the network because they truly believe in what they're building, or if they're just going to quit mining and hold their rewards. It's actually what led to, I think, a lot of the success of Bitcoin is that belief system, of knowing that, they built a transaction medium that doesn't have to wait on banks. It's global, and it operates 24/7, 100% uptime. And again, no trusted third parties. You can send something over the blockchain on a Saturday night at 4 a.m. if you want to. Very, very powerful to actually support the infrastructure, and you're rewarded heavily to do so. So That's really exciting, Patty, and I want to show some different strategies here. Again, just for educational purposes, but you talked about taking your rewards if you've bridged them to the Ethereum network as an ERC20, what you can actually do with them. And I'll kind of talk about what I'm going to do with some of mine with some of these new features that are opening up. All right. So let me swap over to a different browser here. And hopefully you guys have seen a video of us doing this in the past. If not, there are lots of recordings in the social impact platform, and I'll show you all where those are. Let me swap over to us. And I'll go to the social impact platform. All right, so inside the social impact platform, if y'all go to connect events and replays, you can actually look at all of the replays from daily AMAs or weekly learn to earns. And specifically what I want to talk about is you can search for things like swaps or Metamask. And there's lots of walkthroughs that we've done very similar to what I'm going to do today. So you can always go back and watch this replay as it comes out if you're just not watching that, and follow step by step. But there are also like very in-depth, detailed recordings that you can always go back and watch as well. But what I'm going to do on this is show y'all Metamask. And let me get over on this different browser real quick, because I have my MetaMask in Mozilla Firefox. You can do this on Chrome. You can do this on Brave, whatever your main browser that you utilize is.
Yes, and anybody that's new, MetaMask is where you're going to swap tokens. You want to have that available. You want to have CoinMarketCap available so you can get your addresses that you'll need to import, especially if there are unique addresses, as well as Connect. Back to you.
Exactly. Yeah. And I do want to show that too, Patty. So while you bring that up, if I go to CoinMarketCap, I can go look at a project. And what she's talking about are the contracts right here. I do also want to show you how, because CoinMarketCap is a third party, I like to really trust, like, a place of truth or a source of truth that you can actually go to the support sites. So whether it's, support.connectunited.com or it's the help.rlink.com, you can go to those FAQ sites and you can just search contract. And you can actually see, like, here is the Win ERC20 contract address right here. So you will need this in a step coming up here in a second. So I'm going to open my MetaMask extension. So whenever you download the MetaMask extension, it comes up in these little puzzle pieces in most browsers. And again, there's videos and how-tos on that. You can actually go to MetaMask website and look at all of their FAQs if you need a little extra help setting it up. But whenever you first open this extension, you will only see Ethereum in here. You may see some of these other networks, but likely you will only see Ethereum. So you can see I do not have Win currently showing up in here. So what we're talking about here is importing that contract address so that you can see Win inside of your wallet as an option. How we do that is we click the three dots here for the menu and go to import tokens. Whenever I click on import tokens, eventually, like, as it becomes more popular, as there's more trading volume on the token, you'll be able to just search Win. But for now, we'll have to do the custom token import utilizing this Win ERC20 contract address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and get it on my clipboard. and paste it into that custom tab. So again, 3 dots, import tokens.
We're not seeing that, Patty.
My MetaMask isn't popping up. Let me try.
Oh, you're not on your MetaMask right now. We're still seeing Win ERC20 contract.
Okay, let me share entire screen because it's a pop-up. So it may
All right, thank you.
All right. This should allow y'all to see it. Okay, did it pop up now? Looks like it. Yep.
It did, yes.
Okay, so these 3 dots right here to the right, because like I said, you will only see Ethereum in here and no other tokens. So I've already imported some of these other tokens. You can see that I do not have Win in here. So whenever I import tokens, I have this contract address on my clipboard. So I will tab over to custom token and just paste this address in here. And you'll see that it automatically populates your token symbol as Win, so I know I'm on the correct one. I'll click next. And then you'll see I actually have some Win inside of this wallet. So if you've ever sent ERC20 to MetaMask, I've been there before where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gone, I lost it. What happened to it? It's there, it's inside the wallet. It's just not being shown visible because you haven't imported that ERC20 contract address yet. So don't worry, you can always import it to access those tokens, or you can import it prior to ever sending any tokens to that wallet. So once I click import, you'll see that it popped up and I actually have Win inside of this wallet now. So I can do a lot of interesting things inside of MetaMask. You've heard us talk about like getting more in depth and utilizing Uniswap or using like Elevate's trading platform, but you can do a lot of things.
I got to ask you a quick question because going back to the fact that you didn't have the Win contract address in your wallet, but you had money in there already. Did you remove that for the sake of being able to show people today, or do we have to go back and add that every time?
No, once you add it, it's there inside of that wallet permanently. So yes, I did go remove it just for sake of showing everyone today.
Okay,
but
go ahead.
I did want to bring that point up that if you send before you import, the tokens are still there. So your experience would look more like how I just did it than if you import prior to sending them.
Right, I got that. And I'm sorry I interrupted you, so go ahead, keep going.
No worries at all.
Everybody understands this as we're going, because that would get, like last night I was helping somebody and they got so nervous because it wasn't there, and then we imported the contract address for them.
Yep, exactly. And like I said, we've all been there. Like I remember freaking out the first time I ever sent some crypto to MetaMask and didn't import the contract prior. And, you know, there's still no worries in it because it is there. You can always look at block explorers and different things and actually see the transaction. But yes, that could be an experience that some of you may have. But I really do like to import the token contract address before I ever actually send to a wallet. So now I'm actually going to show you what it's like to swap into a token. So I'm going to go into my Ethereum balance here, and I'm going to hit the swap button. And so you'll see here at the top is ETH. Down, this is what you're swapping from, and this is what you're swapping to. So let's say I wanted to buy a little bit of Rally. I would come in here and I would hit like 0.005 and it'll calculate me a dollar amount. So this is $15 worth of Rally. So what it's showing me is the current pool price, that 1 ETH is 960,000 Rally. So that's giving me $14 or 4,800 Rally. Whenever I hit swap on this, there's usually pop-ups on early projects to ensure you're on the right contract address. And then you can hit swap and confirm. And my swap was submitted. And then it just takes a minute for all of the nodes to pick up that transaction, have consensus, and it's complete. So now whenever I go back to my activity, you can see that my successful ETH to rally swap happened. And if I go back to my token balances, you'll see that my rally balance has changed, and so has my Ethereum balance. So now, going the other way, if I wanted to, swap that rally back that I just had, you can also have transactions where you go from rally to ETH or any other swap that you can think of. So if I come in here and I take rally to ETH, I could also go USDC, USDT, and the universal router will take me through whatever the best path is. If it's going to take me from rally to ETH and then it'll swap that ETH for stablecoin, it'll do that. Or if there's a pool specifically between rally and stablecoin, it'll take that swap as well. So now if I just do 4,000 rally, it's going to give me about $12 worth of ETH. Again, I can see the network fee, and I can approve this swap.
Here, Yuki, come on.
Same thing, the transaction submitted.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on, Jake's talking to their dog. Hold on. Hold on a second.
Hi,
I'm looking. I don't see the person.
buddy. Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy. Okay, I think she heard me. Great, thanks. There you go. Go ahead. And I also, Jake, as you're moving along here, I'd like to offer people an opportunity to ask questions. And I guess that's the hand raise. So if you do have a question for Jake as he moves along, just raise your hand and we'll keep an eye on that. Herb and I are actually monitoring all that.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks.
So you can see again, the transaction was complete. I'll go back, see the activity of swap and rally to ETH. I got my amount there. If I go back to my tokens, you can see that my rally balance has adjusted again, as well as my Ethereum balance. So you can swap in either direction. You can actually swap brand for brand if you want to. Like if I wanted to come in here and I wanted to swap, let's say some win for green, and come in here, type in some win. And this is what's called like slip. There's a little bit of slippage or price impact in here, meaning that whenever I put
Jake's muted. He's got to unmute himself. You're still muted, Jake.
As people come on, I'm muting them and I accidentally hit Jake's. So I apologize for this. Hold on a second, Jake. It's just granted access and you're supposed to.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sorry about that.
No worries at all. So what I was talking about there within that swap is if it's putting a little bit of a price impact on the price of green actually whenever I do this swap. So you can see where it appears that I'm only going to get $8 for my $10 swap. But what that's doing is it's moving the price of green up. And so whenever the price of green actually moves up, that 25,000 green is actually going to be worth that $10. It's only worth like 25,000 green is worth $8 at current spot price. So meaning whenever the price of something moves up, you get less of it, right? And if the price ever moves down, you get more of that reward. So whenever it moves the price up to wherever it's going to go, 25,000 green should be worth roughly close to $10. So that's something you have to keep in mind of price impact and what your trades do to the market. So, and what that's showing is 21%. So if we actually watch this on a chart, you'll watch a green candle move the price of green up. So I'm going to go ahead and just initiate this trade. And we'll show that. right, so that was confirmed. And then we can see that transaction took place, and I got my green balance increase and my win balance decrease. So what this actually did, let's go look at this transaction. Click view on Etherscan. And you can see this actually utilized the Ethereum to brand pools. Now, there is a more efficient way for me to do this if I utilized Elevate's trading platform, that I could actually utilize those Elevate pair pools to swap more efficiently between brands. This used Ethereum as a hub and spoke instead of Elevate. So it's still really good to do. Really exciting to be able to swap from brand to brand as I may need it. You know, if you can think about actually utilizing your rewards. If I am supporting a specific project, let's say I actually own a block bot and I'm earning win rewards, but I also own a PowerPay NFT and I want to pay my monthly power bill utilizing green. I can actually swap my win rewards for green and then utilize that green. Or let's say I have some green nodes and I'm sitting on some green, or maybe I got a transaction or confirmation reward and I was rewarded some green, and I want to go to the Nourish Mart and I want to buy some steaks, you know, utilizing Grow. Well, I could actually swap my green for Grow and utilize that within the Nourish Mart to get my groceries. There's a lot of exciting things of utilizing all of these different ecosystems in a truly decentralized ecosystem. All of this cross-compatibility and connections of all of these different blockchains and rewards through utilizing the markets. And again, it's your digital assets, it's your rewards to do as you please. If you're wanting to, you know, utilize them for products and services, if you're wanting to, you know, maybe you need to pull some cash out and cover some bills, or if you're wanting to actually utilize your cash and go purchase some more rewards to, you know, maybe hodl them. If you're wanting to sit on them, increase your hodl bonus that will come out eventually of actually increasing your chances of being distributed NFTs as they come through the node network, or, you know, again, if you're just holding it for a future date or going to utilize them. What's exciting about this is differentials in markets. So I look at this a lot. If you go to Dex Screener, it's another price aggregator of tons of liquidity pools. This is all Web3. It looks at all markets, and you can look at our markets on this and see where tokens are trading at in different pools. And again, like I can actually see a differential and maybe capitalize on it for products and services. So we talked about buying block bots for native rewards, right? So I have a lot of native rewards, and I really don't care if my win is sitting on the native network or if it's sitting on the Ethereum network, or, you know, in the near future, if it's sitting on Binance Smart Chain, if it's sitting on the Base network, if it's sitting on Solana Chain, wherever your win tokens are housed, whichever network they're housed on, it is still win. So if I go here and I go to, I'm actually just going to paste that contract address from earlier.
Contract address that you're pasting is the win contract address.
Yes.
Just for anybody that joined us later.
And I can type in win, and a lot of these will come up, but this is the surefire way to know that this is this specific win. So all of these are different markets. This is the win Elevate pool. This is win trading against Elevate. This is win trading against Ethereum. This is another pool of win trading against Ethereum. This is the interesting thing.
Clarify what that means, like one is less slippage than the other, or it's a better deal?
Yeah,
Explain
they're
that.
just different markets. So in decentralized exchanges, literally anyone can create a liquidity position or a liquidity pool. Like you and I can make one. Anyone all over the world can make one. If you think about it like a farmer's market, where you can have a farmer's market in your town, I could have a farmer's market in my town. It doesn't necessarily mean that our markets are connected, right? You may be selling eggs at a cheaper price or a higher price than I'm selling them at my farmer's market. Then, as more and more people join, maybe someone comes to my farmer's market and starts transacting at the prices that are going on at my specific market. That's what's pretty cool about decentralized or just decentralization in general is anyone can set these things up. Anyone can participate inside of them. Where it becomes confusing is whenever you look at data aggregators like CoinMarketCap, where I usually compare that to like the housing market, where we have a national housing average here in the United States, right? But there's a vast difference between the housing market in, say, California versus Oklahoma. A 2,000 square foot home in California is probably about $1 million. A 2,000 square foot home in Oklahoma is probably about $200,000. There's a vast difference between those two, even though the national housing average may be, let's say, 500K. So you have to dial in specifically to the market that you're at to get the best data that you can. And then as arbitrage and different things start to happen, like here in Texas, we're starting to see a lot of people sell their homes in California and come buy up the homes here. So you'll start to see the prices of homes come down in California, and they're starting to come up in Texas to where, who knows, 100 years from now, maybe a national housing average will be a little closer to where those housing prices are. Houses are not near as fast as cryptocurrency because you can't actually pick up the house and move it. Here you can. You can actually pick up your cryptocurrency and hit whichever specific market that you want to. But what I wanted to talk about was that arbitrage opportunity to where you can see right here, if WIN is accepted at this price to purchase your block bots, you can actually go buy it for this price right here. So really, I could actually purchase a $2,500 block bot for like $250 if I go buy my WIN first before buying that block bot. Now that opportunity, I don't know how long that's going to be there. If tons of people start doing that, this price will eventually get bought up to this price. And what I mean by that is our community values our rewards more than the rest of the world does right now because we know what they're used for. We know the products and services and what you can do with those rewards. If you think of any other community and how they value their assets, it's always built in community first and then goes out to the outside world. I like to think of it like, collector's cars. If I looked at a 1967 Mustang GT, maybe it has 100,000 miles on it. Maybe it's in pretty good shape. If I go to like Kelley Blue Book or something, they're going to say, well, that's, like an 80-year-old car or a, 60-year-old car. Who cares about that? It has 80,000 miles. It's like a $3,000 car. And if I went to someone and I saw one in their driveway, they would laugh at me. They would say, no, that's a $50,000, $60,000 car because they're in that community. They know the value of that car and what it'll sell for, and they'll find buyers for that price. Now, if I ever saw someone only utilizing the Kelley Blue Book prices, because obviously they don't know what they have, they don't see the inherent value in it because they're not a part of that community, I would go buy it up because I am a part of that community. I know what it's worth. And if that continued happening, like if other people were selling those cars for Blue Book value, eventually they would all get bought up and they would all become worth what that community values it at. So again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how fast that'll happen, if it'll happen. But I could truly see that starting to happen as people see this price discrepancy, and whoever has positions in this liquidity pool that are, not seeing that inherent value of what it can actually be utilized for, and they're actually have those out in the market at that price. I don't know how many are there. They could get, it may be a minuscule amount and they may get bought up very quickly. I don't know, but that's kind of what I'm going to personally do, is utilize my native rewards and probably replace them at this cheaper price to get my rewards balance back up. Because I do see a despairing price differential, and I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone as I am, recontributing to the network. I am getting node software and different things that I want to contribute to the network, but I'm also replenishing and replacing my rewards and helping lift this other market up. So really exciting times of everything that's changing. I've been through this with Gala. Things are a little bit different because there's not near as much of a need of a centralized exchange where we as a community have to give away a lot of power. A lot of this can be built in decentralized exchanges as the tech has evolved a lot. And but still seeing, price discrepancies and utilities start to come on for the digital reward as, eventually people may not even care about blockchain. They may not care about tokens or crypto or anything, but they will literally purchase these rewards from the market to get the product or service that they want at the end, which is completely getting away from the speculation only world that the crypto market has lived in up to this point. Will there be speculators? Of course there will be. They'll speculate on this in different ways too. They'll look at the fundamentals of what products and services as revenue do flowing through a blockchain as well. But to me, we have the support of actual real world revenue flowing through our tokens that who knows, when the rest of the crypto world trades on speculation and they look for bull and bear cycles. They've been on this 4-year bull, 4-year bear cycle because of Bitcoin halvings that, we may stick out like a sore thumb as like a green island in a sea of red because our token is not speculative. It's truly being utilized, where demand for a product and service is demand for the token, which is, again, it's really exciting because no one has ever done anything like this.
Yeah. Hey, Jack, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you address what some people are going through right now that has been brought to our attention as far as when they're in their wallets and they're actually looking at values of their rewards and tokens in their wallets, they're seeing a certain amount, and how that, I believe that amount is indicative of the win, like, let's say if it's win, it would be the win elevate as we're seeing on the screen. And so you can actually use that pricing to do swaps within the wallet for whatever is in the community, right? One token for another, or whatever you want to buy within the community. But once you start to send that out into Metamask, then the conversion is going to take place, and the value is not going to be consistent. I believe it's going to be 1/10 of what they're seeing. Can you kind of just speak into that so people are not confused about that?
Yeah, that's correct. So it's, again, like looking at those despairing market differences is what you're seeing. So because the reward is accepted in the shopping cart at this pool, that's what's shown in the wallet. But if you want to interact with, like, say, an Ethereum pool or something like that, that's what you were talking about, like a 10th of the price. Now, these aren't always going to be at a 10th of the price. Like, if a lot of people started coming in and buying WIN with ETH out of this pool, it will move this pool up. Or if a lot of people start selling, it can move this pool down. If a lot of people started selling Win for Elevate in this pool, it would move that price down. If a lot of people started buying Win with Elevate, it would move this pool price up. But right now, currently, like you said, it's about a tenth of that price, a little more than a tenth of the price, or a little less than a tenth of it. That's the discrepancy that you're currently seeing. If I was going to look and connect, or if I was going to utilize my Win to buy a block bot, this is the price that I could buy with. If I'm going to go, swap some Win for Ethereum, it's going to utilize this pool right here. So again, it's just a discrepancy in markets. It's one of the toughest things, but it's also really cool about decentralized exchanges. If I think about, and I think it's a perfect analogy because it's mining something new, is going back to like the gold rush days where you had different mining towns and there wasn't, really fast or major communication between these towns. So like as their people went out and mined some gold, these two towns may actually be selling gold at different prices. And that is a form of decentralization as well, versus like if I go to a centralized market, like, let's get into the securities world where you have the New York Stock Exchange that they're dictating what the price is all in one place. Decentralized, you can have even centralized exchanges that are technically decentralized from each other. If I go to Coinbase and I'll look at the price of Bitcoin, then I go to Binance and I'll look at the price of Bitcoin, they may actually be trading at different prices. So that happens a lot until popularity and adoption start to come on board, and you start to see that market discovery of where things kind of start to come together, and that's with volume and with buying and selling. So if a lot of volume and a lot of buying started coming into this Win ETH pool, this price could actually start to come up. And then as the world starts seeing the value in these rewards, as the community sees the value in the rewards, because they're purchasing them to get products and services, we could start to see these come together a lot more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's actually what you have up as deck screen right now, just so people understand, so that you can see the difference in those different pools, correct?
Yes.
And the more we use these pools and we use we purchase the meats with the grow tokens and we pay our utilities with the green, et cetera, it actually does our community good. It's probably a phenomenal thing. And for those that are looking to live on, if you will, they maybe need some of the money to live on, it's available, and you can do it with Win or Rally or whatever you have by following this format. It's just that you can't pull out so much because there's a lot of slippage in most cases right now because of liquidity. But we will see that coming together soon, and we don't know how soon, right, Jake? This is like the mystery, right? Is this
right? Yep.
Correct?
We don't control the markets. The markets are a free world thing, but that's the biggest reason of us going out and sharing what we're doing with the world, that there are better ways to transact, to cut out middlemen, to cut out third parties, and utilizing more efficient networks that we're building with our nodes. So
Jake, as we're coming to the close, can we take that contract address out for Win and put in the contract address for Raleigh, just to keep the difference?
Appearance or location for somebody's job.
So I'm going to type in Raleigh.
Patty, we can't hear you.
Hold on a second. I just had somebody come on live and went to mute them, and I grabbed you again because you started talking and went in that spot. So unmute yourself. I'm granting you access. There you go.
All right.
Sorry.
No worries at all. All right. So I pasted the Raleigh address in here, and you can see the different pools. So, this Raleigh Elevate pool is trading at like 3 cents. This Raleigh ETH pool is at 003. This Rally ETH pool is at a penny. So this one you can really start seeing different markets and how they're trading at different prices. This one's at 003. This one's at 002. There are a lot of different pools for Rally. Actually, this is pretty cool. But yeah, so again, that's just it's the early adopter of seeing price discovery and waiting for the markets to discover, the trust in which market, which price, which one's going to become the competitive and dominant pool that starts to utilize for everything. And if you think about this, like, if this is the price that gets utilized inside of the shopping cart, where you can buy, you can buy your actual R-Link subscription, if you can buy a node with it, if you can buy a boost with it, whatever it is that gets utilized for you to utilize your native rewards, you can go purchase this right here and just hold back some Rally ERC20, and you can see that, I got something at a much cheaper price. And as people start to do that, as people start to see this as the value that's within the community and what they value those rewards at, they'll start to soak this up. Just like I was talking about, I would go buy that 1967 Mustang if it was being sold by someone at a Kelly Blue Book value. I would say, well, they don't value that like I do as a part of the car community, so I'm going to go get that from them. And then I actually value it as what it truly is within that community. And then you'll start to see all these prices start to come together, because people will always go to that cheapest pool. They'll go look at, those suckers that are selling it for way cheaper than they should be, because they see that inherent value in it. And you'll watch all of that kind of lift up together, if that makes sense.
So, Jake, how do the people go? How do they know where and how do they go to the specific pools? For example, you're showing about 8 or 9 or 10 Rally pools. How do people specify what pool they want to interact with?
So if you want to get complicated into that, we can go actually find that pool. But whenever you do that in MetaMask, that universal router is going to find the best price for you. So if you just want simple ease of that, it may actually buy some of it from this pool and some of it from this pool, and they'll kind of come up together. But you can specifically target a pool by looking at that pool's contract address if you wanted to, by grabbing this pair. But just for simplicity's sake, trading inside of MetaMask will target those lower pools for you automatically to find the best deal for you.
Okay, perfect. Good.
And as someone just asked if we could show while we're here, show Bitcoin or XRP or some other that's outside of our community, just so that people can see how they come together. I think
Okay.
they're asking.
Yeah.
Do XRP.
Well, so those are different networks. I guess I could find. Let's see, what else is pretty, like, let me think of an ERC20 token that is pretty popular. Let's try Matic. Or let's go to some of the top cryptocurrencies. Just to stay in the Ethereum world instead of going to an actual native layer 1. Actually, because these are all on BNB. You can see this happen in here though. So Matic is pretty popular. If I look at like Matic to Ethereum, it's at 11 cents. If I go to Matic to USDT, it's at 13 cents. Matic USDT, 13 cents. So you see a lot of these come together without having despairingly different, because it's been out for a while. It's really popular on CoinMarketCap's page. They're pretty high ranked, and they have pretty good volume through them. Actually, have really good volume through them on some of them. Let's see. I can see if there are any, like, maybe wrapped XRPs on Ethereum, but I kind of doubt there are.
And Jake, I'm sure people are wondering where you're seeing the volume. Of course, it looks like tiny print to us, but
Yeah.
go over that people can see.
Trying to think of another good ERC20. Let's look on here. See, there was Polygon or Matic that we were looking at earlier, where it's 11 cents on CoinMarketCap, but there was one specific pool where it was trading for 13, but most of them look like they were around that 11 cents.
Actually, the volume's very clear. Sorry, I take that back.
It's okay. Actually, I guess I could pull up. I think Gala's volume is still pretty high. But you can see that there's tons of pools on it.
And in the Gala, you're saying that the volumes are good and high and all that. What are the nodes producing still annually? Like if you owned one Gala node, what is that paying out approximately on a monthly?
I'm really not sure. Like, it depends on. They implemented like a staking model that you had to stake like 1 million Gala inside of it or something like that. I actually transitioned pretty much all of my Gala out to all of the projects that we're involved in now. So, and that's a good topic that, there was a lot of learned lessons with Gala. That's why Gala was kind of like the pilot test program that we did, because if you look at gaming versus, electricity or food supplies or, medical and health and wellness, like these are much bigger problems and issues to tackle than just, gaming. Like I love gaming and, I can't wait for Adventure World to come out and get into all of that space, especially since it will interact with all of these different chains and these real world use cases. But one of the biggest learned lessons with Gala was governance. It happened to still be fairly centralized to where, one party could take a lot of control over that and strip a lot of power from a community. So the learned lesson in that was the DGF that we talk about all the time. The distributed governance framework allows for the community to have true harnessed power and control over that blockchain. So why I said that was like kind of like a pilot and a very good learned lesson to set all of these projects up for long-term sustainability and community growth and ownership. So, there's some discrepancies inside of that, but I'm sure if someone had like that 1 million Gala staked inside of that, they may be getting like, I don't know, maybe even with the token where it's at like 25,000 a year, maybe. But again, I don't really compare that. Like that project completely served its purpose, and I really don't pay attention to it too much anymore.
All righty. I don't see any hands up. So I think we can wrap up today. We went a little over today, but that was good. That usually happens when we do rallies. Anyway, we really appreciate you being here, Jake. This was very informative. We'll get this posted up in our threads. And of course, as you all know, we're here every day